country. Who to me talking?
Hey, Jaluti. Run, man, run.
Yes, Antonio we studio.
Today on the pay.
Otwida mpanyankufa na ama amina wo nya nkwa meyetasi.
Amen.
Nhia na ye inganism.
Amen. 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 The ebullient. The irrepressible. The exciting Kwame Duncan. Former Central Regional Minister. A positivity. Hey, Akwaba. Apum.
Yamina demand of your son, yes, sir.
Igwefu.
Obohokoti, whatever that's it.
Amen.
Obu new
In your
Yasha through when I was model. Whatever that's for Papa.
Amen. Kwame now na teaching you. Nti impediment da ma se menyu fiase ne ezin komo. Me da aseso da anapay enyame ho adejo. All the way from Igwe to Nkren. Yeah, but Kokrokoo mu akonanyim. Achimota school in Simsimi. Also, you are very closely associated with our so-called A-list schools. Wow, Kabuchi. Looking at Achimota school, Asimia.
The only school.
You mean the school? The school.
When you be realizing us, okay, yeah, no, wala.
Hey, Kabuchi. Oh, could you for? Ebi said the ruling in, is it a plus for human rights or challenge of the school's autonomy? And the school no board the crate bi tugwa was say work appeal. Ono Education Minister Yao Educhum also CCS in the purview and about Togan Education Service and Ministry of Education one ado into the school board should chill. Then there were in Kitahudibi. No, I share more bit to my. What do you think?
Yo, Chairman General, the Mincho, Grad, and Mincho, wait for and pim. That's it.
That's it.
Now, Chairman General, who can hate the Vice President? Who can hate him?
I don't know who can. Well, let me just say that Kokrokoo Charities. This week, last Monday, we had a cause to be happy.
No, he's as compassionate
as Brian, 300,000 CDs.
Compassionate.
300,000 CDs.
Wow. He is as compassionate as his boss.
No, Osi Danzuma, Mamibia. Oh, yeah,
Ma why, Abba, educated fisherman. And to move
Born from Kwame.
Oh, well, Kwame.
Yeah, Kwame.
Maybe someone who can hate or to make anybody.
Not everybody will love it.
Oh,
no.
Yeah, no boss so compassionate that circumstances must not limit the Ghanaian child in attaining the highest level of education. In a Nagasa, persons are will be better, will be did say after Kufado. And no more, no soup, or the boiling pound, you know. They say, Bagomia. I mean, in answer, I will feed and retain. I was so cool. On him there, yes. It is the task of the government.
Yeah.
But abanya ye manan santum nsunechi ongura hatenechi bibia ya. All this won yodo na kwame. Omai was the kasede mo pa.
Yes.
Papa.
I salute you for that.
Salute you. In fact, start standing.
Hey,
attention.
I take a bow.
Attention. Don't you appreciate?
And you there, Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. My care donation. Kwame was the regional minister.
Yes.
I was now on Zimbabwe. Now me share one bo. Nyame aduma bono babado.
Amen.
The Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. Yes, you have brought more incubators.
Amen.
Na yes, Niku unit. I'm on.
Niku so aka.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, Kwame.
It is our next project. It is our next project.
More annual report. Nuku. Yada. challenge.
Kwame na nyamena dom by the end of the year we may start.
Ni kuno bi a neonatal
intensive care unit.
Kwame nyame sure.
Unshine na.
What?
Nyame mbo wo ban.
No, you are a special asset.
Onfa neta bangasen kata wodo.
Nyamena dom.
No man enyim yamzi wenyim kan.
Nyame nhire yefunu owo Kwame.
Amen, me ma mesafo.
No.
So as you want to go home, I sort of why I got to crowd on Cassuri.
Yada na pula, Cocoa, Yabir. On them wood, yes, and Hunty.
But Kwame, I can't them promise. Michelle, boy.
Yes.
I intend
to do that,
to fulfill it.
Let me show.
Niku at Cape Teaching Hospital near Ben.
Yes.
No.
On your honor, lieutenant, you know.
No.
Auntie Irene.
Yes.
We made a promise. We intend to deliver.
Right. As it, that's it. The man paying and everything.
And I had the vice president as Papa. Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia and Danasi.
Is it?
Mamudu.
Yes. Me, I was at Dasa in Chamakai. O kan nembo
nagode
alaji nagode Kwame na chi ye ndaman ma wa bada hana do yi Achimota mbufro me oya e bobra bosumen match mufroma Wako in Fiacron where we school.
Yeah.
Aquatron, social and social no it can be some woman. Her first experience. Na yame Yahuadum man social ban. Unwedin kunyim. Ma yada won papa ana won ajanom kro Achimota enyi headmistress katena ho kapa ne cho na mom nyanga sa do ma no hihye a ya hihye ye we firi si ho a ye hwe mo fama ni na won madembo na ye kan digwa firi no mu na firi wa hwe mo madembo na be masafata fine onwa akoto nti dam na oye mo dem mo fama from me wash and water fita hoka kika ho water box kodu ha school nesi waje ho yeye listen tin there won achechiri ho ti Kwame Sabakaya asam ni pay mo ban look banzo from me house master me senior house master Kwame waje tumpa there ada offer discipline Sha.
Nanchawa, how would you send a message? You former students.
Kwame, info, oh, no quite there. The teenage period, or your senior school period. On the junior school. Or Sunday, the man, Nandama Abamofaman whom Abam into school environment o here there onyan hyehyɛ obotum da abom fama no hore do emma wo ba fi school no mun na wonam kwantene pado etuma atwado akohanyim akosuru pom into chinye biale yu da oye introduce schooling ye hiam bra na da hyehyɛ wo hɔ a obotum abom fama no ho kyam do na Kwame Sabakaya ebia na we fi da mama ba mbaka de masemi bi na edinkan lawyer Kwame Kufu
ya kasa
ini dinkomo ma lawyer Kwame Kufu kada these are minors not of majority age na che ye no kwan do krampo de ade bibi ba hye ho kon do de mi na yawuti hi Maba makra me ni ya dun pepe. Nemo makada Kwame. There are Ghanaian children in the dreadlocks. Go back to your audio bank. Ghanaian children. Na okay, what I refer to as a crash of the law.
Okay.
Ma school enwo hun ma dodo a ne wo de chi. Enna ma ejanum na moframa na ho a won so te echi nso bo hun. Na ni na okowia da mbran. Wana na mbran obegya akwana afa, begina ne dado, egya akwana afa ye. Number 7 is the count there. If I were the Ghana Education Service, I will see the children in the dreadlocks. Na in school, I am there. There must be a certain memorandum of understanding. There, in the interim, Kwame, look, the kids are being taken through psychological torture and the Constitution, supreme law of the land. Buki, Oya Yamba Queen, Otia, de Yaba Mamo Frama, if you go to the rights of children. Kwame, Ochepefe, Ada Oyin de Yadi Yamo Frama, na Oya 28 April, Yakwa referendum, 1991 was said, and then 92.
90.
Emma Yadi Tum, de Yadi Kabimam Kabi. Yadi Baya Juma, Emma, a constitution, Kwame, and Oya committee of experts. Nana Dr. SKB Asante, what time why your Juma consultative assembly, why Mawaji Tum, Emma Mai, Hina Yadi Hagin to there. Embre Quina, Yadi Baya Juma, or Mayim, Obion today I'm using this opportunity there. Embre Queen, Yadi Juma, or Mayim.
Our constitution.
A constitution. A chapter feder, and to me from a and for fatty tia, what's the moon? Emon na Kwame. No quadra. The Muframa 9 years. Where the drudgery of examination. Wa Kwakaye, Emma Kwame, and Quimiza Bamhafa. Yes, there's the issue of the dreadlock. But if you are to make a choice between the human being, the child, and the dreadlocks, if you were to make a choice, Kwame, it's the embassy. Ma yemwe yenwane fi yamfanhwe moframan osande the general right of the country is the right of an individual. Na amendum Ghana Education Service. Maybe there must be a memorandum of understanding. No, sir, eventually it was going to take the court to pronounce. Eventually. Now from March is gone, April is gone, May is gone, June
is here.
It's here. And the Okorie Cotton, Kwame, and an answer. Na cotton, Obuai. Nemichia Oba Pain at Mwaina or women. I have not understood yet what the policy rationale for asking journalists to leave the courtroom. I haven't understood that. I mean, no judgment on whether it's in the public space. Mankind. But I salute her. The Kwame. Sir Oyada Yadina Bobu Amwa, while brides and brand is that to no crema. For to no creme, Mariado Mubu. Or Sunday, the avalanche of the recall of nostalgic training among women were in their various schools. And the general opinion, which was tilted heavily against the dreadlock, maybe until the judge might be influenced. And so, I share no way anyone. I see my reading of the law and the cases made. Muframan, what to me and Teta, one father window. And see, Sir Kwame, a share my Obapaini, okay, or the man that look him. And see, Article 28
No.
Say a clause 1, clause 4. No child shall be deprived by any other person. No child shall be deprived by any other person of medical treatment, education, or any other social or economic benefit by reason only of religious or other beliefs. So it doesn't even just end at religious, other beliefs. That is where the field is open wide. This is the Constitution. And Kwame, say a Constitution now, where Article 1, 2. The Constitution shall be the supreme law of Ghana.
Yeah.
And any other law found to be inconsistent with any provision of this Constitution shall, to the extent of the inconsistency, be void. Constitution, much like Kwame, yesterday I was listening to my boss, Nakumia. Even here at Peace FM, Samuya and Shishebi, Nasa Jumayi, Nasa also did see ne a family bra. Nasa court is about to turn there. The mention share now, Mayan, Emon Patchen, or ya da, or him, the queen, or in the shia. Or what to Marco, or ya, or Ferdinand Shraj. Shraj, so they come under the supervision of the judiciary.
Yeah.
And see, Biana. A summon non pay court, and there was an example of can anybody wearing dreadlocks go to the military? That matter hasn't come up yet. Court, in there on them, and no kwana bia na sama wa but no the new akushum. Court is there, and I wait that all of us, I did all high say you do look to the bar. No sir, obi the dreadlocks or pedoko or your army. So court in that is where we put the law by the law.
And we should not discuss that.
At all. We haven't got to that junction. But for now, my family court, my court say, Masukunin soon. Now, I've read a release Achimota board. What about? Yes, the Constitution is also clear. Kwame, Article 33 now. As a person aggrieved by a determination of the High Court may appeal to the Court of Appeal with the right of a further appeal to the Supreme Court. Inti, oya school, oya na kwanyawo doboko, but going to appealing and seeking to appealing on Chade, it is right. It's a stay of execution. On your stay of execution there, Akade me pedabo ko higher court. Into the minty, Abranta, hold on. It's not like that. It is a court in the no other than the ma mode ko school where the school must open its doors.
Interestingly, Education Minister Yauduchum,
yes,
or you see where to be unilateral. Also, the board of the school cannot take a unilateral decision.
Fantastic.
To launch an appeal.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic, Minister. But Kwame, these are Ghanaian kids in the dreadlocks. Mama, they be a their future is as critical to this country as any other Ghanaian child. And see, school no boko appeal when they will not do it unilaterally. And would have to do it conjunctively with the ministry or GES. In the interim, quickly, the kids must be admitted. And yesterday, you were posing the question there. If the panelists were the fathers of these kids, would they want to insist
on... Well, they insist they want Banunko school.
Banunko school.
The same school.
Well, what is it?
You don't think that...
Kwame.
Will be 20 years.
Look, Kwame. The system I so soiled or so poisoned. There was a matter we did not agree. The court has now pronounced, and then the other it's not the headmistress. It is not the teachers. It was a certain misunderstanding that cropped up. I don't think the Achimota teachers back there. I say, Marco court ebu amam. At the child, the chairman, young French. No, not at all. They will continue to be professional. The headmistress was just that, look, I am going by the rules that I have. Go cut your dreadlocks. It is not because go cut your headlocks and not there or time from it. The kids were put there by the system. They must go to school. Or the minister, Najias, Professor Pokwa Mankwap, my very, very good friend, they must quickly insist for the kids to go to school. Kwame, our system that we run as a constitution, as a democracy, Kwame, it must be one that we all abide by the law and must be seen to be doing what the law directs. Quickly. That is what will continue to build the confidence. On kama mobi, odem rasha nsem na waya basa. Onu no ba ma omai ma yadire buham yade cheche ham mai oya owo ba kabi ma kabi sa kabi ma kabi na sa ntase nwa constitution na che de adibiara onyi ntase wo hentam court. That is how we build and grow a country. Na Kwame, me de man ribewe.
No.
Maybe this is doing there. Ghana Education Service. They must take notice of the happenings in the recent times. Now, as quickly as possible. As quickly. Because there must not be another issue for us to be get directionless. And what happened at Wesley Girls quickly comes to mind. And which, Kwame, a very minute, in my view, issue which rather that as major stakeholders in the building of this country, Kwame, this minute issue virtually succeeded in crashing our heads. People became passionate and forgot look, this is our one country, one people, one destiny. And that when we feel one issue a statement, a counter statement, which threaten the fabric of the peace that we have enjoyed all this while. Ghana Education Service must move quickly. Now, all your rules and regulations are, Kwame, and you know how the schools get their rules and regulations. Ghana Education itself has a code of conduct, out of which the schools, they are guided out of the code of conduct at Ghana Education Service forward. Now also couch their various rules and regulations. Even when they are done, I'm sure it is passed on. Certify the look, yes, you can go on and begin to operate. Now in the period and the young shall say the Mundamania Omba app in a space in Omway. And there's this argument there. It's going to open the floodgate. Emma Ibinosa was more religion. What religion also pound for schooler? Kwame, it to be contested in the court of law. Whether it's a pound for schooling, whether it does not offend public morality.
Yeah.
Yet I be our friend, Obi shall dreadlock or the Quincy. No to be sorry, more previous number religion, but the court. What the bottle to there? What particular religion practicing I pay the whether it offends public morality. And son a court on town or your robot. Your robot are there. No, so.
Natural than your court in Yadrin.
May you court in Yadrin until there. Sir, schoolness of appeal. Why appeal maybe as a court of appeal? Why can I know? Mammy Payna or High Court. He can you to. Let's even further appeal to Supreme Court. What Wakasa? Lord and Wakasa, no chade. Ubia man to go to be mortal. But for now, this is the law. This is what the learned judge of the High Court, Kwame, now I want to pat her also on the back there. She was minded there when 24-year Muframan warped injunction to force Achimota. There, even before the case runs, and also no, I won't grant this.
But
I am minded there. I will give a speedy trial. Speedy trial, Kwame watcher. because March I work the whole of April, the whole of May, 8 solid weeks. Mufaman, why miss? Welcome, Uncle Wabbit. That's right. It's it. Mamma to cry you there. And Tantama, honorable minister, do chum, you do chum doctor. What that room? Mauna see from Tantama and get the kids to school.
Welcome to that, I'm sure, after the meeting. But a quick comment here. This one says, it's rather a shame that it has come to this because it appears Achimota is resorting to denying access to education instead of continuing with this long tradition of educating leaders for our country. They should rescind their decision of going to appeal. Lord Hoffman sends that one in. Peace 104.3. Now, this one says, reacting to the Achimota School and pass on Metro TV's Good Evening Ghana, Education Minister last night said, quote, I'm surprised at the unilateral decision taken by the board chairman of Achimota School to go to the Court of Appeal. The boards of senior high schools are constituted by the Minister for Education. Tomorrow, which is today, I shall be meeting the headmistress and board chairman of Achimota School. I'm waiting to sit down with the Attorney General to be briefed on the way forward, unquote. KSK, I'm hopeful that a compromise can be reached in earnest to allow the boys to go to school, said Obama.
It takes a compromise. There's no compromise in this matter. The court has spoken. Compromise in manner. Only there, there's no compromise here. The court has spoken. If it had gone in the way of Achimota, these guys would not find themselves anywhere. What they would have done was one, either to cut the hair or to proceed further to a higher court.
Or to choose another school.
Yes, the court has spoken. Let's stop forget about the compromise.
Yellow Man from Achimota has another view. He says, Kwame, was it the will of the children to grow locks or was it the will of the parents to grow locks for them? Is it not an infringement of the kids' human rights? Let's think about that one too. Well, now somebody sends me that very famous quotation from... I'll come to that very shortly. But Ejad Daminyan Mem says, granted that Achimota's decision to painfully deny the Rastafarian their right to education was based on hairstyle, question to ask is, who decides on what kind of hairstyle a student should wear? Next question, how did he come to wear that hairstyle? And does the hairstyle affect his studies? Finally, how does the hairstyle negatively affect his peers? Anyway, Sasa says, the High Court ruling yesterday is a triumph for constitutionalism over rules and regulations. And he goes on and talks about Martin Kpebu versus Attorney General. The rules of Achimota School on Rastafarianism was against Article 21C and 17.2 of the Constitution. Hence, inconsistent with and void. Any appeal will fail, trust me. That's Sasa. Well, we'll leave it there for now. Now, Kwame, good morning. This whole Achimota School saga has been discussed in a skewed manner to always blame Achimota for the negative effects of the delay in the kids' education. Is it not the parents of the children who are insisting the children shouldn't cut their hair? Because at their age, they can't make such decisions for themselves. Are the parents not enjoined by the Children's Act and all the laws to put their children's education first? This ruling is a precedent that can be applied to make demands of rights on religious grounds, even if rules of that public organization rightly conflicts with the demands. Let's be careful, because we don't know all religions and how they manifest their beliefs. Kwame Jestante, a.k.a. Poncho, in Bobeashi, sends that one out. This one sent to me by a friend says, Kwame, let me just take you to that famous quote of the priest Martin Nimola. Quote, first they came for the socialist and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionist and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me and there was no one left to speak for me. Today, it is about Rastafarians. If we don't speak out for them today, tomorrow, it will be about somebody else. Thanks, bro. Educated fisherman. Until then.
Kwame.
Yes.
Nyamenadum.
Mm-hmm.
Nah. You better na Achimota Rastafarians. Na Achimota School. It is in the Yaboko the end of the year. Ghana is becoming something. Ghana is baby. But I will pray there. As Ghanaians, there is a need for us to pray for President Nana Akufo-Addo.
The late Kweku Baako has arrived.
I get there, the late Kweku Baako, no,
he did not hear.
Mete.
The habitually late Kweku Baako has arrived. Habitually late Kweku Baako has arrived.
That's right.
Ojamatiren.
Wale him. Midasi.
Yes, Alute.
Kwame.
Yes.
Abembia o win elections. No o win in the second term. In the first year of his second term, there are history since 1992.
Why don't you phone on you?
Kwegu.
Alute oyawo. Alute wala.
Kwegu you there or
No, it cannot be.
when your message be.
Oyawa. Alute show phone pocho. But this time be in flow.
Onya medicine, but me who the medicine so man fan to say.
Alute oyawo phone.
Oh, you are.
Madam medicine na sounder. Come you jam.
Kwame.
Yes.
Abembia win in the second term and the first year, things are very difficult. Reasons there. The last year to elections, and you won't go haywire because Abembia or try there obeying your MPR, Obama will win elections. But this current government, if you want first year in their second term, situations be our rise in our political space, in our social media. It's not good. There is a need for all of us as Ghanaians to pray for the president. I mean,
Well, what does it have to do with Achimota School?
it's the same thing.
Tell me.
It's the same thing. People take the law into their hands. People do whatever they like. You use the word from the Minister of Education there. They cannot take unilateral decision. People are doing everything and creating problem here and there. But I'm paying about 20, and people have forgotten that no longer so a full soldier until or find the right platform to respond to one war accusing. Obakacho there on President Nana Akufo-Addo Rastafarian issue. Already people are lambasting the free SHS. Ne Isabeshim. I mean, look at all that connections. The more Achimota issue, the headmistress is being backed by the governing board, as well as past students were icons within our Ghanaian society. They are supporting her. They our strength from an angle. They were faced even to fight the ruling. They no say well, also there are court, or higher court.
Yeah, on na education minister card unilaterally want to take their decision. It will share one day.
They should have consulted with the Ministry of Education, because at the end of the day, Ministry of Education has supervisory role over that school. Now, one particular problem that I have on the majority of Ghanaians will feed the Rastafarianism or Unkofa Sebita fracture one we until that mindset, I'm sure Onuna headmistress prevented them from maybe from coming to her school. But I mean, we were in those old days. I mean, Rasta but we had people who were Rastafarians. Who put more dreadlocks in no natural.
Now, dreadlocks are natural.
No, I'm telling you, your dreadlocks was a until now, Bible no one pee. David Grapo no dreadlocks, Samson or dreadlocks. When they were naturally born with it. Na Ghanaians here does na some Ghanaians who was a warrior Rastafarians now. One behavior crap or public now so in your papa. See, it fits into that perception. There, the monk coffee, they are rascals, what's them. And as a matter of fact, he will be no crap on one dressing point, your fair. But, Matsi, the membrane TBNE, were you well qualified to be in Achimota. But to them, again, do you look at the intelligence of that child or you look at the dreadlocks? Because once a machine a placing wasn't able to school, Kwame me sure there will post one alcohol, one photographs and I didn't account. Yeah. And the headmistress in Parkache and there will who them of family or dreadlocks are. See the time we over to school or not over prevent one in getting admission into the school. And say Kwame, I mean, I think I am something. People are playing cards behind the scene. It is becoming a chess game as to who is who. And you know, I support Kwamen's statement there. The Ministry of Education, although ordinance form, Ministry of Education, although ordinance form, for one ordinance form. And you may be basa. Was the boy you know was about you see there, free SHS, or to them. And see, I mean, I will appeal to the governing body there. Mr. Wana, yeah, Wama Ajubro, Asum Jimbra, Mafamenko school. What they need to do is to monitor these kids. But not to, in a way, victimize the Mumma farmer. If they even go to appeal court, now appeal court will rule in favor of the children. No, they should know. Once they have been to the human rights court, they should expect that the work of court of appeal, they will lose. Because this is a human rights issue. And see, sir, appeal court, sir, high court in Angasa, Oshum, next still. Or maintain new position now. Yes, one. They shouldn't victimize these kids. They are Ghanaians. And we don't know what their contribution will be for Mother Ghana. All that we want is to move this country forward. Ntimasa mukakran.
Alote me dasi bebre no wadwinche. Abdul Malik, we're in Achimota school. What are your comments?
Yeah. I see me first time I me back in because the time I see ma was in a state of mourning and also off air. I mean, first and foremost, me who court judgment. If I attended, I may try through some lawyer friends of mine there, me here, but no was hard.
I think that only available, not immediately available.
That's right.
Yes.
I'm sure you got the same.
Yes, because we tried to get lawyer Kwame Kufu to comment on it for two reasons. One, or a former student of Achimota School, and two, interesting time assembly by in an interview much earlier.
Yeah.
But he said he hasn't received a copy of the judgment yet, and so wanted to wait.
Yes, I may try Samson Ladin Yawapon, but only I know was available the way now to my member because it's important. There, you will read the text of the judgment. Let's a pronouncement, especially based on law. If it's from a legal perspective, you need the even read the contents, in terms of the law, meaning exactly what went into the ruling or the judgment.
Yeah.
But me instincts, me nature, all the time really, maybe I'm over liberal, Kwame, and also, It be somebody difficult to control. Let me tell you, Nancy. Left me alone. Let me challenge you. And be honest with you. Let me tell you also school regulations, school traditions, school rules. It's true. You of course secondary school. In fact, just not even secondary school. School beyond there are rules. There's no doubt about that. But me dream wonder. Tell me your time, you know, man, to be done. Anyway, your times watch them. Man, to be done. But look, I had friends who went to Achimota and all those big, great schools. Of course, St. Thomas Aquinas in Afasini Secondary School. Not bad schools. Don't make a mistake. Very good schools.
No bad
the way Cramna you were looking at.
Except that you were a bad student in a good school. Aquinas Ogwane. Hafasini Ogwane.
High school, more or less, what done, quote unquote, school of refugees. Bad boys now. Bad boys now. What's happening from Cape Coast schools? No good run 1 hour. On the class one boy. My parents thought they were sending me out of Accra. So now I import Accra for PA. Kwame man, Tassi. To be honest, my instinct was to back the boys, the students. I said instinct. Instinct is not a substitute for science. Gentlemen say. But it was a sheer instinctive feeling. I thought this whole thing was being overblown. I didn't get the point. Say, Waba, where Rasta and Waba, no will misbehave. Yes, then you take action. But the mere fact that why all dreadlocks ne Ejina Onubutum why inspire other students to do same or something else. No, I was finding it very difficult to appreciate the logic behind the school's position there. There are rules and regulations, some of which do not allow the Igbo grow hair that way. I have to be honest. I to reconcile myself with it, and still, in time by me instincts, you know. Or then your controversy cry. Sisia court abim, law abim, no, intina me pedemife, how the law has strengthened my instincts and made it to be a more solid. Or counting me chasey judgment. Na at the school board no so we appeal. You can't say no to that. All you can say is perhaps what Kwame was alluding to. You, in fact, and I will Kwame there. Education minister said, or a unilateral decision.
Yeah,
that is a good point in the sense that saying the structure the way out Achimota or GS.
Yeah.
And for that matter, Minister of Education was some role into yes, properly speaking. Yes, or there were consultations in Anyama. Board of Governance and were quite a strong role to play. Me who chatter na bibi. I think they have something we define board new rules in Anyama. Sisi Ameka said, I have to be honest with you, Minya, I haven't cited that document. I just care for it it might sound ignorant.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure the rule is codified in some document, or is it not?
Not as I know.
Okay. So Board of Governance schools won't codify.
Quite interesting. I see me be seeing you there.
Quite interesting.
Yeah, as you said, codified rules and regulations don't exactly exist.
For the board's rule, function,
it looks
limitation of its authority, nothing. Wow, that's interesting.
But usually, persons with
I'm fine.
experience.
But
You go on the professor.
board chair.
Nyankopon Kuraba Bakan Committee no there were guiding rules.
You are right.
So said them not that it's a mission no mission. You see, then they can become like an octopus, unchained, tentacles everywhere. I doubt if that is the proper.
They are reasonable.
Okay.
They are reasonable.
Okay. But Kwame,
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, ncha come ncha appeal no cry, ncha won't forget, they move on. But since it's within their right, you can't attack it.
No.
Once they collaborate, say education ministry prina, since I quoted the education ministry say no appeal. Naninia, so the news all sorts of internal dynamics be by school. So that might be okay. Yeah, this is a very powerful school. It's a great school. Make no doubt about it. Kwame, check. There's people they have produced. Over the years.
Presidents they have produced.
One CCI will hold positions. You cannot underestimate the influence of old boys and old girls in Nyama. There's no doubt about that. You cannot, until once we will pull strings here and there. It's so needless, in my candid opinion. So needless. Until this is a democracy.
Achimota will produce president. And Vanzipim will produce vice president.
So it's another powerful school.
Why are you saying that?
Oh, why am I saying that then?
Aka.
Aka vice president.
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
Prestigious.
But Pagwe Misata was.
Aka Pagwe Misata. And then we had Prime Minister Buzia, who was head of government.
But can be more near presidents, be more vice president, be more scientists, be more doctors, lawyers. All schools, you produce. Mama for more elitism, super elitism. I respect those schools though, but I'm saying at times we overblow at the yeah, it's a great school. There's no doubt. Big school. I mean, Interim doubt that.
But you know the interesting thing in all of this, just as a matter of interest in the conversation, one lawyer for the Rastan, he himself was a dreadlock person, and had to take it off because the law profession won't allow it.
You are right.
Raswayo.
Yeah, Raswayo.
No, we grow dreadlocks
in the courtroom.
No, he as a law student, he had dreadlocks.
Okay.
But he was told that if you want to become a lawyer, you cannot have this. So he had to take his dreadlocks off.
I see.
Interesting. Is that
he may
maybe he failed to
philosophically if you were interested in this. And vindicating on this one. For all you know, this could be a precedent.
Yeah.
But Kwame,
yes.
Judgment,
yes.
Except that I come and me feeling no. This was needless and unnecessary, to be honest with you.
It was needless and necessary. Good morning, Kwame. Kokrokoo Baku has decided to perpetually speak to himself. Please ask your sound engineers to do us a favor by increasing the volume on its microphone. Akosia Spintex Road.
Hey, oh yeah, sure. Anyway, beer, but who producer the double A.
But still, even I can hear the low.
No, then there's something wrong.
So we'll have to check your mics. But tell Kokrokoo Baku to raise his voice. We're struggling to hear him.
By
quite a number here.
From the beginning, your voice was low.
This one says, check Bombay's mic. Volume is low. Bass is so strong. Deep. Okay, noted. My technicians will work on it ASAP. And
because it the last I come here where I say no.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I've been told that it was stigmatization that caused Razwayo to cut his locks and not the law school per se. Well, so Obama, thanks. Stigmatization because what would have happened is in Papa. Okay, I want to share a song with you. This song I've known from my from more than about 30 years, from my reggae playing days on radio, and it's quite interesting. Just because of the conversation going around, I thought about this song and I managed to get it. It's a song by Bonnie Whaler. Bonnie Whaler was one of the original Whalers, and it's entitled "Bald Head Jesus." Can you imagine? Kwame, have you seen the image of a bald head Jesus?
It will not be possible.
No, Kwame, you know how to spice. I bet you. Some wood in cry.
And check on common here, but
No, Kwame.
no one sent them be said.
Kwame.
Because he mentions Moses, Aaron, Nazarene men. They were all Rasta men.
No, Aaron wasn't the Rastafarian. But
Well, he
Moses
says
was
they
a
were
Rastafarian.
Moses, Aaron, Nazarene men. They were all Rasta
Yes.
men.
John
Bald head
the Baptist
Jesus
was a Rastafarian.
So-
Samson a Rastafarian. David a Rastafarian.
Okay.
Christ a Rastafarian.
Uh-huh.
Solomon a Rastafarian.
Uh-huh. So what are we talking about today?
The very people who brought religion to us for us to know God.
What do you mean by that?
Well,
Nigeria-
interestingly,
Jesus Christ
let me
is
just
Christianity.
Mpacho, remember,
Yeah, but it's
For us to
part
know
of the
God.
lyric
where
says,
my emphasis is.
Yes.
Mpacho, Alote, 1 minute. Part of the lyric says, I've never seen the image of a bald-head Jesus yet. He's a humble and dreadlock Nazarene man. So look in yourselves and try to understand. Is it that we don't understand? Is it that we are judging them wrongly? What exactly is it? But it's just the lyrics of the song, but part of our discussion in a Jamiza film, Kwame Dankana Boniti Kudama.
But Kwame, Inima, when you come to our Afro-Fumeun,
Yeah.
you see a lot of these dreadlocks, natural dreadlocks.
DJ
Ras
DJ Ras King in Krankwanta Doma West District. Good morning, DJ Ras King. Thank you very much for touching base. This one from my man Law Session says, you're too much. Right song at the right time. Lovely. Well, thanks for enjoying
You're
it.
more than too much.
Let's
Obviously, too much.
too much. Kwame, let's make this the new anthem of Achimota School. Motown. Well. So there it is. Tell our listeners to give Kweku Bakwe a break. His voice will reset in 3 months. He cried too much when his mom passed. Derek, I can tell you for a fact, much as I've never seen the image of a bald head Jesus, I haven't seen Kweku ever cry. So he gets very emotional, he gets charged, and it was only one occasion years ago that he was moved to tears. But even that, the stubbornness in him refused to, it's okay. The lyrics of Akwesian Pofoje's song Time Changes comes to mind. Kwame Duncan is strongly on the side of the law, but he was quick to part ways with Kweku in respect of the law and banning of excavators. This court's ruling on Achimota School admission brouhaha will come back to haunt all of us as we continue to incapacitate school authorities in instilling discipline in our kids. Kwame, Kwame, my nephew, have genuine fears for this country. From senior Kwame Osudonko. Well, Kwame now says it won't happen.
Kwame, don't be surprised.
Selena says, Kwame, with the song you just played, let me ask you, was Jesus a Ghanaian attending Achimota School? TT Usunoti says, I love this track. TT, I love it too. It's an old song I used to play back in the day. And Dr. Maku from Abinwaha says, Big Son, where do you get your reggae songs from? This one is marvelous. Well, Big Papa, don't forget I used to be a reggae presenter back in the day. And it's quite interesting. I'm a bald head Rasta, if you like. Anyway, so yeah, wrap up on this. And now I'm going area.
I mean, may chip in something there. I wouldn't be surprised one day to see a confa once over there 6 match or Boko Parade.
Not Boko Parade. What's wrong with it?
What's wrong with it?
What is the point?
Ruling me or her. Or better specify ruling in once who are affected one. No, I get it. They have the right to go and match. Independence commemoration.
Invitation to the realm of anxiety. We'll find solve problem here. No solution.
Anyway, Nee from Adenta, Nee says, Kwame, apart from Kwame and Duncan, you, Kweku Bakwe and Alute, are conflicted. You are all jam men. Anyway, on a more serious note, we should be
What
careful.
does that mean?
And if I just leave it there.
Yes.
On a more serious note, man can't hear. How who interpretation in you?
You are all conflicted.
But that's your interpretation. I leave it there. On a more serious note, though, Nee says we should be careful how we are inviting all sorts of interest in our schools. Let's just be careful. A very good morning to Eddie Bankun, who's listening to us. He is also a German. Leave it there. Kwame, think about it. Why do you pride yourself on Presbyterian discipline? Why do we like Catholic and Methodist schools discipline? And these disciplines we pride ourselves usually go against human rights, because I remember Brad Kokrokoo at Kanishi Presby who used the cane. Looking at our society with social media and disrespect amongst the youth, and now human rights giving children powers, Achimota still remains the glory of the coast. Nana has your jury. Why do I have a feeling you went to Achimota school? Buffalo Kwame Frimpon says, honestly, Kwame, you've just spiced up your program and I'm enjoying it. Well, thank you for enjoying it. And let's see if there are any others. And then I go to another issue. And then this one's the Chairman General Neville O'Reilly Livingston was born 10th April 1947. Today marks exactly 3 months of his death, 2nd March 2021. What a coincidence. Yeah, Bunny Wheeler died in March. Rest well, Bunny Wheeler, Ibu in secondary. Thank you very much for that piece of history. Real name, Neville O'Reilly Livingston, nickname Bunny Wheeler. 10th April 1947. He died 3 months ago. Interesting. Today's exactly 3 months Bunny Wheeler died. Good morning. Can a Rastafarian join the military or any of the security services? If he's refused, can he take the military to court? Eben is asking. Well, Eben, that conversation we had this morning, Kwame Duncan says we haven't got into that bridge. But I am saying that at this point, I don't see how it is going to be possible that you wear dreadlocks and go to the military academy or go to recruit training.
You haven't got the Kwame. Will be a Rasta and then our dreadlocks. That's what I apply. The military say no. Military rules are they are subordinate
to the constitution.
To the constitution. In Pakon Banya them writing to go to court. That is where then there will be a clear pronouncement.
But you see, education is a right, right?
Is it?
Education is a right.
Yes.
Joining the military is a choice, is it not?
Yeah, it's a choice.
So would it come one of the same?
Yes.
But I'm saying that if you don't quote and academ the people there, if you cannot wear dreadlocks to go to the military.
That's why I'm just supporting what you're saying.
Okay, fine.
The education are a right.
That's right.
A right enshrined in the constitution.
That's right.
Joining the military or the police is a choice.
Fantastic.
So at the end of the day,
so you are even defeated before you go.
Let's see. How does a pretty kids soldier? One kind of soldier joining soldier is enshrined in the constitution. I was saying rules. Peace 104.3 in discussion this morning. Kwame Duncan, former Central Regional Minister, Bernard Alote Jacob, social commentator, Abdul Malik Kokrokoo, back editor-in-chief of the New Crusading Guide. Let me go to another interesting subject, the president's foreign travels. Meantime, Rebam is an interesting subject in there. Kokrokoo and I have discussed presidential travel several times over several years. And Kokrokoo will tell you that it goes on and on and on. It's used for propaganda purposes. But let's see what he thinks today. President's foreign travels, rape of public purse, or are the critics ill-informed about benefits to country? And can the president be barred from foreign travels as MP Ukujetua Blakwa others sign online petition? Kwamina.
It's not a mistake.
What is the mistake?
That the 2A of the synopsis.
It's a mistake.
Can president be barred from foreign travels as a Blakwa others sign online petition? That the petition is intended to get the president barred. Is that what it is?
Well, that is what I'm beginning to
say. Copy.
In your man, petition.
Copy.
Petition,
okay, let me look for it.
I had no idea.
Let me look for it.
I
think I have.
It's a member of parliament. In all sign petition online that the president must be barred from undertaking foreign trade.
Who is going to bar the president?
No.
I call it playing with minds.
If you are not a fake.
Fake. So what you
it is not fake. I will just find it.
Anyway, but I'm sure you are asking that I proceed.
Yes, sir. Please, okay, respectfully. Let me just look for it and I'll let you know. But in the meantime, you may proceed.
Kwame. A man paying. Sir, yakwa abato
Can I get a copy from
na a man who are waiting feed our train and number. Ah, who war a woman do. Oh, yeah, abato woman who didn't want do. No, being a pedal, Bokako to buy a cocoto. Madonna, what's I say? Kwame Sefakan, au na yade hetum another man na yimpan. Ah, your man mu hetum yada mother your man pay. Kwame Wajuman on your man on gote. Biori tebia unte no shan so. Wajuman ye o man na wiade no fa wa ka nyina. Oya wasade there's a constitution mu akwame okire under the directive principles of state policy okire here even wofere here foreign policy direction sana equal executive international relations the frameworks of the constitution may call referendum may give to me okire here omampen it's here all do anyi ne amaya we twan we hia wo ebibi ai ane odikan sobreji ni ansa na ebibirman nankasa Africa ye de ebibirman to nchen a kwame ye wo United Nations amamaya oha dokun esia am da numu oha dokun anan ina yaka United Nations ho ye do no tinchi akwame
na
ye wo inshemi pi ye wo bi bilateral bi multilateral ni na sande yimpako nansa ntum hata otwede ampo nan na was won som yimpa enti omampanyi ni biara tell me obiara ritema ya sha ase ya kabiri omampanyi na wa abado a anos na metramu mfichiri ya it will not even be the case there said nko bebia na not even ECOWAS enti oya nshe because the constitution direct oya nshe then your mama nyina betray inda damada no here ambassadors na here high commissioners na permanent representatives are yet ko we nothing it is because of relations which exist between these countries, between these bodies and our country. And from the outset oman panyin we djuma ne ye hangote oya we adin na kwa ma kan da man no nka ye de djuma ye da ma oman ni panyin da ma ton aponchi na say wala ton aponchi na we so fi kitenu dua no bay into kwame oya na Saturday onya mama nyina na ekuaku akasa wo wiada nyina so nya so ma ya ka ho oya na Saturday oda otu anamo na ohwede ye nya mama ya tena ye nhihye oda ye ma obokoyi ya mama aman so obohwe hia afam ma so obokoyi da ma hen akwantu akwantu owom papa mu bi okwa me ya for play na yesura ma say ayada okotoka akwa ni nchene obi buebo hu basa ekubi me ya transit fi ofana Netherlands airport Schiphol but they go Germany I mean what the you go plane to the
no our friend taxi
my
plane there first go Germany
those short flights now
taxi
city hopper
Germany
plane to the say I go go for we man na me
Oyem Shisho.
Me mayor, Cape Coast mayor.
Exactly.
Who's wasting time to continue to say mountain red? Minister. I'm going to never more.
You're wonderful.
Plain I'm going to. No, a man paying coming.
Now, and you there, General Kutu champion. I stand for to be courageous. I'm the one to Kwando. Go to Ghana. In about 6 years, did he do any foreign travel?
Because he had a flight
Phobia. Serious.
Even though the presidential jet was bought under his administration.
Yeah.
I'm the one used to do.
Yes. You that.
But we need to check whether one called outside.
Outside Ghana.
Of course, we don't call via Togo.
We'll check.
In a beer by road or something.
Yeah.
I have to check. I have to check. But minimum there no flight phobia.
Yeah.
Because even that one was sacking, what retiring,
we're retiring.
or what forcing it to resign and retire. What didn't he fiacra aircraft crana someone pedofil.
Also, uncle.
That's right. Kwame. Na soje a land soldier fu hu a wo shebuti. Wo mama wonya experience in flight and one choir force one form from one yon bibi da.
Oh, in China's obey. But to you, we are in agenda. This is your uncle Bio.
For training purpose in China by.
Training purposes, Boko. Now, why there? And you're not a city hopper from Holland, skip on to Germany. Obviously, tell crime now sitting on a plane, it's not like trotro. No, my issue beer. If the pilot is speeding, he's speeding. Turbulence. Anyway. Turbulence.
Turbulence. Yeah.
On the non-portals also.
Yeah, but I never said one about some more. Kwame. In some man paying Edgeman. My other baby no common crampon the foam. Even within the sub-region. Na Ghana, your lead row. Daba, we are there to create the path to assess the cause of Africa, the cause of West Africa. Ne juma so a odenu kom mali fui ka kan wasamanda o kira na ho adan na odo tu kwan president bi wato abaman odo kokohwe enti
Senior fire. Also, it's called aerophobia. Or aviophobia. Aviophobia or aerophobia. You know, fire.
Aviation.
Fire likes planes.
Security infant.
Secret in your body.
Flight phobia, no, you're correct.
Well, he says it's aerophobia or aviophobia.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'm only saying what
flight phobia. Yeah.
I'm educated.
Yeah.
It's Kwame. Oh yeah, at the Kasa, yeah, the same. O man paying no come. Na iwie damna ka chen there Kwame yemfa omanpain hina yesusum osa na oman ni susum ni bibia omanpain hu no hye
Yeah.
Akwantu a orukọ
Peace FM.
Orukọ Europe mem akọ France akọ Belgium owie wa tendency akọ South Africa Pan-African Parliament ka address hu France your cray. Ejuma France dia ohie mo kware ma made the case of Africa there. The pandemic im we see awakọ. Nda yada nda mumu akwanyim wanyi endin ye. Nti obehia there. Mo hwehwe mo adwunum. Na ye kura pandemic munyina do. Na Africa e kai ayede wonfa nche hen. Osa e kura Belgium. In Shishia, Kwame Okwakaye, the first in history, European CBB Investment Bank. 170 million euros. Kwame, a Jumo Sinyodo, other Babasham, Yenya, Oya Development Bank Ghana. I don't know whether I got it right.
Yeah, the DBG.
Yes. Yanka for play now. Say 2 years or 3 years ago. I mean, American query Sir, young me no dinner for fee. Plan our way to by a smell son. No plan, no engine co, a doom. Engine co, manna, say more. My water now. A man paying a user, Mrs. Sarah Babodun, or do 2 quack America, or team. Smell the sun, will room. And the plane now. Autonomy, engine or woman, a cool or do me.
About playing presidential jet.
Presidential jet here. Makwame. Yeah, the in Pauka, a man paying Nangasa, a beautiful. I'm not such a phenomenon that walk at the plane.
Yeah, or Air Force.
Air Force. A beautiful papa, and one what a woman as one him, more to be managing mobile balandi. And then one gasa. When you make women, what that foot over there? A man paying. Plane says ya go kokodu. Sir kwatentena. Yes sawara we ndi mara. Yem susu de kwatenten ede iyiboko. Says ya ye kese. Emma adibiara o man paying obeye biara onso yin. Enwu ajada isa din ampa. Wo so wa che ho pin. Na abende kwame. Insusu a wa bede na yimi de. I did a bottle plane for another. Ebokaka habi. Na kwame. A man paying. But I say plane chow. I will. Intention to mind gentlemen. Ain't it? May you be saying that into the community? It's been ordered about the no yen. On your dang yet. On man paying. Once the year, na kwa biado wodi ja wo so a na wada sio
it is not a rape of the public purse.
Maybe that one minute me mercy from enti kwa me awode adwuma no oye o san na sa wa ya enna da ya de sha no nsem do onye atutun fom anu nsa so otu da makwan wa akọ ai France me akọ Belgium akọ South Africa a member of parliament. You don't you know yo. In okite plane. Okite photo a photo
Camera.
Ne we twitwa baby my man paying kwa ka chen we twitwo. Ma we kwekwa hu wo abafo internet do. A member of parliament. Kwame merba.
Bruh.
We kwotwa ma owo wo fa na internet do. No, a man paying alote. Play no phone. Macaubi. Mukarin, baby Mosso Anchi, what jam one and only make crack. Baby Motra, my woman is bang, only make crack. Baby, my saw peda outside in Emma, make crack, and yadam get a member of parliament. Yadam. No mum,
go to him.
Ma owa a abelful. Quantum Pondo, no way FM. Pictures. No video. Where'd you track? Yep, a man paying the plane or the 2 kwan. No mundamo, no mum, more internet don't know where to track.
What in more internet were the same thing?
Pardon me. A member of parliament indeed dabbling in speculation. You decide you want to make a case, you want to indeed assist the cause of Ghana. That you go to the net and glean the net and you are able to procure for pictures and all of them videos and you put them together to tell the country there. Or man paying the plane not him in them not. You are a member of parliament. Kwame, no, yeah, the women. It might be also here. I did be here saying that without knowing for a fact. Because you must know for a fact. Then you better. And why would you play now when you play painful when you are young? It's a now when Martini, you produce. You don't make an assumption. Kwame, on all fours, all he did was to assume there. If he traveled for an hour, okay, the Woposi on website and maybe them, they may have posted them there, but it comes to let's do business. It is a different ball game.
Let's do business is a different ball game, but Obisa urgent question of parliament. Ebe up to now, defense minister called parliament thinking Yano. Kwame. Ebe ancho Yano. It will throw light on this transaction. Mate.
And
the richer count.
Oh, I don't miss
means that and then.
Very straight. Come now.
Why body trim Abu Bob? I don't really could be a waji. Na time of flight. Why imagining not that calculate hours? No real that multiply. Or you no cost now. On yet what is factual. That this is the fact. Because as a member of parliament, you must not be doing speculation in engaging the rest of the country. Why are the mean not that what were there? This is what costs the entire country. Kwame, you were rushing me to Wi-Fi agent question.
Meantime, maybe said them business account. Also, for example, I'm coming to you, don't worry.
Okay.
If the presidential jet is no longer fit for long distance, why have we not been told? Must government always be reactive? Information management, simples. Then this one from Maxwell Kofi Juma, quick one. He says, as much as we want to save money as a lower middle income country, one thing we must never compromise is the physical security of the nation, security of the head of state, and the security of the people. The entire dignity of the country is vested in a head of state. We may want to save money, yes, but trust me, when you see an American president walk in the park or a British prime minister ride a bike, don't take it lateral or literal. The planning and security preparations taken can buy a whole village. Sometimes we're seen as naive. You may not even see a huge motorcade, but their security is tough and bigger than a mere motorcade. Okay, quick one. Efe, Chado, come now.
Good. Kwame.
Yeah.
This is where I am now. You point me or you rushing me to question me about Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Is that question necessary now?
Why not?
Because the person has all the facts. The member of parliament has all the facts. He has the pictures, he has the videos, he has the costs, he has all of them. And he has told the entire country. Why would you now ask the minister to come and then provide answers? Democracy is not a joke. I mean, if it is not for mischief, if it is not an attempt to cast slur on the president and to make it appear in the minds of the Ghanaian people there, this is an uncaring president. If that is not the motive, and you truly want Sika Wakum, another president not travel plane or higher, you come out with all of that and then you say our father an agent question. I mean, this is a joke. That's right. You do all of this as a member of parliament, Kwame. You do all of this. You put out there this information that is just from you. That is not the fact. Fact. The ping, adi dam no see, dam not see. And then when you have done all of that, you say, Minister, come and respond.
But this thing has been going on for more than a week.
So I ask myself then, if you know all of this, Akropon, Ebadi, you know the chambers, you know where the president even sat, you have all the videos and the pictures and the cost. What is it that you are asking the minister to come and tell you?
To come and respond to whether what you have is the truth.
Why?
Then that is a trap.
No, to come and account.
So wait, and he has spent the minister's account to be from what he has told us. President's last travel, or 2 point, what's 2 point?
About 2.8 million cedis.
Ghana cedis.
Dollars was out.
No, cedis.
The euros,
about 40-something thousand pounds. Grand total about 2.8 million cedis. Yeah.
But Kwame, if you know the fact, if I were the minister, but member of parliament, you have told the entire country your facts. You have told us that it cost this much. What else are you looking forward for me to come and tell you in this honorable house? I tell you this because you have indeed informed the country. A member of parliament must not act that way. You have a piece of information. I'm a Michelle. You don't go out there, pollute, and he was granting interview. The interviewer, president now from as a member of parliament, your consent, or your public purse, your ban, this is not the way to go. And your pieces of information, as required of you. Kwame, I file for Parliament. Awaiting the minister. Minister Bernard Obama information. It is not satisfactory. It does not meet what you have found. Then you let the rest of the world know. But when you have already told us, I can't even what I will see my babunya that chair. Maybe said the minister, my Makajadama, a tutan opinion to Kumuha, a tutan Mangwe, Kwame, a tutan Mangwe. Now, Kwame, to Asara, Ukraine, a point of fertility, be Abwe.
Akpele na fertility, on your account of fertility. Akpele and fertility.
And fertility.
Now you're behaving like Wekubako. Anyway, come na NSFO.
Yes, relaxing. And now, before me, quick to turn my cries. I want you to name this bed for me. Man could be a catch of Bagayu.
What was it?
Bagayu. It's pure mischief. Pure mischief. I have known the ways of Blackwa all this while.
Okay.
Pure mischief.
Let's leave him out.
Yes. Let's look
at the issue and not the message.
I come here. I'm sure Kweku may even deal with this matter better.
Nana Hesi Ojiri says, with all the calls and petitions raised by Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa, I'll sum it up with a quote from former President Kufuor. Quote, "We know the cost of everything, but the value of nothing." Unquote. Nana Hesi Ojiri says he leaves it there. Kwame, I remember the former British High Commissioner complained that our young ministers travel first class even when they have business class from donors. They upgrade at the taxpayers' cost. Was Ablakwa one of them? Well, that's speculation. Tardy Phillips. He says, General Kutu Echampon once traveled by road to Togo and returned the same day. You may check. Phillips says that.
I won't doubt that.
Yeah. So he went to Togo, but it was by road. And he returned the same day. I see. I'll take quick comments, then we go to Kweku.
Gwami.
Alote.
Pure mischief.
Okay.
Or your propaganda.
Because you're an expert, you know.
Too early to launch a campaign. Too early. Nah. Mowoye is to paint the president black. Look, we are not looking at the gains of the president's travel, but we are looking at an airplane that was chartered. Forgetting the previous lane, they were chartering aircrafts. What is good for the goose is also good for the Ghana. And I'm happy there you've come out with the fact. The presidential planning. Yet one day obotu airwork no bokwekesi.
Yamin Pengo.
Now we all should think about the safety of the president. Because
can the safety be guaranteed only by the kind of plane he flies?
Oh yes.
To a very large extent.
What about the cost?
Oh, cost I hate. And the cost now was the ban oil no kwara. But in your them presidential travels in your market there, President Kufuor power. You issue press statement as condemning the president. This is an old communist tactics. The kind of politics you want me enjoy. Just look at what the president has brought to us and how he's moving this country forward. But you see, Mama in there, 2024 campaign, ya shasin tamudodo. There's a next year, nyama sisa, ne nyama shasido ye fine. Ne 2023, nyama ye fine pa. Abasembio na waka. Those people should be very tactical. But this is all propaganda. Ya ye bia pa ho. Me assure the Kokuba can. Ya ye bia press release otum or friend Charlie issue a press release. The president before said Ghanai's car.
Confession time.
No, it's a fact.
Confessions of a window cleaner.
Oh, yeah. Nezu ye nya enwa inya ayechu enwa So the hypocrisy in our system is too much. Too much hypocrisy. In Papa no.
But say how aye na gain power. And no be sure ye bia man complainer.
Oh, mami ya cha in there. Mami ya cha in there.
Yeah.
This time ye nyina e ka cha na yemfa. As it change there. As it change there. In there it will catch you and one do. On your president before 2 meter no was away. Ya chu ya ka fa do. Enwa ma ye your money na wie ya nyi there. Ghana and say Ozenemo party ni power. That's precisely what we are doing. Sometimes in aya inhu impan ni sentira o ma okaka dem nsemi. Ebia no so is fighting for a leadership in the future. So, you know to mujina or cassette one. Yeah, I will. I be ne would me in ya ugon or badu pet or they would there Nyaguponi Piwadrina or there such a. And say, I mean, I'm looking at it there. O man paying inch moch me yan yen your home for some. Onye the play cost obo yen bone na cost or that ben ya no yen kwa but unforso wenya what that to Ghana Development Bank will be the Michigan Development Bank no commercial bank rather they can loan the commercial banks obutumu amusika at a low rate ama amina wo say ye kone ye kaji loan wo banga interest rate in Nigeria very low. Ama you to me in sky as our finance in roads construction.
And you are looking at the fruits of that labor.
That's right.
More than how we got the fruits.
And yeah, Obo bin is in a catch and yin is in Saint John.
No.
So we should look at the message.
Not the messenger.
Not the messenger. So I'm looking at the prophet and not the plate. Yes, Marty. Now you know, Kwame.
Remember, Saltish Child says, in as much as I disagree with the antics of the MP on the presidential luxurious plane hire, this is how far adversarial politics called democracy has brought us. Simply cast a slur on your opponent who is in power in order to kick him out. We have so soon forgotten that the incumbent president then in 2016 went on a political campaign in Air Force helicopters. Nobody quibbled. Dishonesty and hypocrisy. Saltish Child sends that one. And then this one says, are they expecting Akufo-Addo to take an Alacha plane so that what? The curses they rain on him on social media will come to materialize. Kwejo Edupaku Achim assume. And then I think our politicians, because of propaganda, are failing to understand that democracy is expensive. Presidents are the number one gentlemen of their lands. The problems of Ghana have been the same with or without an aircraft. It's about time we buy our own. Well, we have one. To even own an aircraft is expensive, Kwame. Have you guys checked out how much it costs for the Ghana Air Force when Air Force One, for example, takes off in the US? Abiku Wilson, Savannah, sends that one. Okucheto just wanted his name to be heard after his resignation from the vetting committee. Walanyo in Akwetia. Tell Alote I love him for stopping propaganda gateway to paradise. For stopping propaganda, gateway to paradise has opened for him. Uncle Teria Winneba sends that one. Do we really value the life of the president and his entourage during international travels? I know we'll also complain if they decide to get a befitting aeroplane for the country. Kwesi Reynolds, Agona Odobeng. General Kutu Echampong was afraid to travel by air. He suffered aerophobia, so never traveled by air. Alfie sends that one. Okay. This one says, okay. I leave it there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh. Okay. I'll let you in.
But Kwame,
yeah.
No Americans and me. on the first issue of Rastafarianism, if you meet
area player chorus the friends near
Dabi, come on them can't send me. Kwame, if you social media, some teachers are training their students. Watch one you motomo was the president Ahoba.
Oh yeah, sure.
You see them on social media, Kwame. Ne if you mrente bi number ba will be so what she sharoba. You see how this foreign travel fits into that perception. And so there debia you mamping ne's all your wager and then wanker and then there we busuen penya and jadamene. What we are doing is building a culture of indiscipline in this country. But I'm happy. The man paying so or but people have forgotten the Narangasa or your full soldier. Was Obiaga can be a president, the president I can respond. Ebuno Obi can be beaten. Kwame, just watch it. On respond to that. Obochana at the appropriate platform and no happen boom hey Ghana for Akai in your president or Kadam. It's in your okay somebody tianen ono the otibim na president otifo into so responder abantina or your president no kadam. This is the culture that we are building in this country. Lastly, Kwame.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, share fantasy. For one to say the president should be barred from foreign travels. The Kokrokoo and the fever, yellow fever.
I think it's modified.
No, watch.
It's modified. As the president to petition to call on the president of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Danko, to desist from leasing offensively ostentatious luxury jets.
Oh.
And so yeah, I'm sure my Isaac is behind.
Well, modification or in there. Can president be barred from foreign travels?
No, Kwamna is right. What the petition Ibrahim?
Kwamna is right, but Monshadi waha.
Oh, Alote, please. See, or the error ni fee. Aha. Producer no. So I make a petition in Chayana.
Error no.
No, you can't do that.
Oh,
no, you can't do that. It's not fair. It's not right.
Marty.
Internet you can't be a fake.
Yes.
But what they petition by you the error is from here.
But if the idea is to call on the president to stop ostentatious travels in any Kawana,
that's still an issue you can attack.
Do you want to say that? And the only Aboboya or one taban known to from Guabucha. Mamma can in there is too hypocritical. Send there from our 1992 democracy. Abba president no to one. Uncle Peace come from Abba president no onya amanaman. Look, when a Ghanaian president travels, he sells the image of the country. Yet, what's a fix the country? Nancy Pelosi, as the House Speaker, or Congress, USA, Oba Ghana, as all yenifie only kente, what the son no kwang. One time on CNN, or the Mekente flap yala, no, or to call House of Representative. Yen tumbo, yen adverts. Yet the be infused yen tourism as tourism to sell the woman to sell Ghana. Next, when the president travels to bring $170 million. Oh, euros po. Euros 200 and something million dollars. Honestly, we have time to criticize it. Let's stop this hypocrisy.
Let's stop this hypocrisy. Bernard Alote Jacobs, Chairman General. The opposition is talking about the president using a chartered flight. I want to know if it's the first time this has happened in Ghana. Edward Ejiri, aka Captain in Takrade. Should Mr. Kujetua Blackwell continue to serve on the Foreign Affairs Committee? Apia Jane Sunyai, well, that's the business of Parliament. Tell Alote to stop deceiving her followers. This flight issue is not hypocrisy. Akufo-Addo has flown more than any other president in Ghana. Kwame na acidity I have for a change here. Kwame, how do you feel about your own colleague journalists raining curses on the president for him to crash to death? Can the police arrest them? Honestly, I haven't heard about anybody raining curses that the president should die. Kwame, you're always talking about hypocrisy and dishonesty, but you're doing the same in your studio. Alan Cash in Aveno, I beg your pardon. Please come and point it out to me. I'm very happy to correct my mistakes. And then Kofi Boating AJ from Sefiri Osom says, Kwame Duncan and the rest of your panelists have forgotten that the president, as a result of the trip this month, Ghana would also be removed from the EU anti-money laundering list. And Ghana has also been selected by the EU as a possible hub for the manufacture of COVID-19 vaccines. So, please, there are so many reasons why the president traveled. This is from Kofi Boating AJ Sefiri sends that good. One in. And then Charles Nita Ekotegos from Tantra Hills. I'd like to imagine this for you for a minute. You escort your boss, the president, to the airport on his way from US to Ghana. You set off from the airport to your hotel to prepare for your commercial flight later in the day. Whilst you're on your way to your hotel, you received a phone call that you have to return to the airport because the president's plane has developed a fault in the air and is returning. Chairman General, you can imagine what some of us went through when the current presidential jet developed a fault 30 minutes after taking off at JFK. We are all in the hands of the Lord. Charles Nite Kotego. Well, and then Kweku Free says, isn't it ironic that Okujetua Blackwell and the NDC are now telling us that it will cost the country less if President Akufo-Addo traveled with the presidential jet? They are the same people who vilified President Kufuor for purchasing that same jet. In fact, it became one of the campaign issues which cost the MPP the 2008 elections. Time. Sasa says, Chairman General, you say you haven't seen any video. I'll send you a video of a guy cursing the president to die by plane crash. Like, seriously?
One more president to mourn, isn't
it? Why I implied them. It was so obvious.
It was implied.
Yeah, but it was so manifesting. So clear. He was discussing a particular subject matter.
Yeah.
Then he went haywire with those kind of things. But sometimes
anyway,
you have to dignify.
Yeah, won't be though.
The destiny of the president is in God's hands.
Time check, 20 minutes past 10. Peace 104.3. I'll take comments from Kweku Baku before we wrap up this morning's edition. Chairman General, hypocrisy and dishonesty, your favorite quotation is killing some Ghanaians. Did Okujetua ever complain when President Mahama was traveling? Did President Mahama always travel by presidential jet? Or did he also have to rent a plane every now and again? And that's from Taifa. Is it the first time a certain president has gone for a chartered flight? Let's rather discuss the benefits. Safo Kantanka in Okai Shin sends that one. Kwame, allow Alote to flow and Kuma Foster. Have I stopped Alote? Can anyone stop Alote? Yeah, time about out of Bala. Yeah, be calculatingly. Okay, somebody's beginning to tell. Don't worry, we'll pick it up by all means.
I'm not too sure.
It's supposed to be the 28th of June, I think. We'll follow up on it. No worries, Abdul Malik. Brim.
Inima.
Catch him.
Since Monday, indeed, we started over last weekend. Trying to assess the text of the urgent questionnaire the Member of Parliament, Mr. Blackwell, was our filing. Indeed, try all my sources were Parliament House or actually there. It's not available. Why? Because the speaker is yet to admit it. Chain him there by the standing orders. Speaker, I'm under order 66-1 or so. No word authority. The sole authority to admit a question and then take steps to ensure that it's put on the order paper and all those things. To my surprise, my sources, for the first time, I think they failed me. Because whilst my team was saying that yes, officially, speaker or accept it or admit it, that's the right word to use. Oh yeah, then now, to small group. Yes, I've been a beneficiary of that.
You mean maybe to my intercept?
Yes, we journalists, we love leakages and drops here and there.
You mean we thrive?
We thrive on it. I mean, it's part of our business, but you do it over the years and you create sources, you cultivate sources.
Yeah.
Both in the public and private sector, in parties, in everything. Regardless of the color of the regime in office, or they are capable of assessing, intercepting, and being a beneficiary of leakages. And yes, it's in a out to my surprise because of winning. There, look, we admit to you. You must give me a copy. But this time round, there was a no. Miss Hanka, well, and you know why?
Why?
Because I don't mean with the text of the urgent question. What is it that is in it? And last Saturday, you discussed one is fine, but I was very economical and very limited, and I did that deliberately because I think that was the right thing to do. But in the course of your discussion, something raised a certain point. Nama or trigger my mind ko baby there well. Said defense minister, ne order appear to answer the question now. Then what exactly is the text? If it's restricted to the presidential jet, the use of it or the status of it, anything to do with the presidential jet exclusively, then it makes sense that defense minister Baba, because the Ghana Air Force now we're custodians of the jet, in fact the communication squadron.
You're very right.
It makes sense. But so yeah, the foreign travels of the president per se, then or a foreign minister. A county may track the text so as to be sure what exactly is in there. Because look, sometimes your question, what may refuse to admit your question if it's misdirected.
And won't that be pointed out to you?
Oh, when it's being rejected, you will know. That's the point at time. Because already a question at the common speaker. Church massive. Let me read, baby. There's a book. This is not the first time, but over the years, and I got this may not immediately relevant, but over my idea. This is rulings of the Speaker, 7th Parliament of the 4th Republic of Ghana. Every parliament where this is from 7 January 2017 to 6 January 2021.
This is Professor Quick.
Yes, just to give you an idea. Admissibility and status of filed questions. Official report so and so and so. 28th July 2017. Yes, I think this is the one. Here. Also, issue. Whether or not an honorable member can question the business committee when his filed question is not listed in the business statement. Ruling of the Speaker. The relevant portions in the get drifting. Provisions of Order 66-1 grant the Speaker the sole authority to admit a question. In admitting a question, the Speaker relies on Order 67, which provides a set of conditions for admissibility. For example, a question shall not be a statement. It shall not be frivolous, vexatious, scandalous, and abuse of the rules of the House. A question which has been admitted may also be affected by subsequent developments, the kind of situation that lawyers refer to as novus auctus interveniens. Lawyers know what to wait, yes, exactly. To wait, something new may have intervened. In such an instance, the question may be put on hold or overtaken by events. Chetasi. It goes on until there's a contest. Always question no, if file fine, but the speaker will subject it to certain conditions. Answer will admit. Because me who the text of the question, no, I'm actually challenged. Even in terms of whether I appropriate the defense minister or a foreign minister, I'm challenged there too. And that is why I was seeking that information. But my sources unfortunately failed me yesterday. Now, Kwame, quickly moving from there, and Kwame alluded to it. Even though to me challenging the right to do so, especially this kind of robust democratic dispensation here we and the free communication channels and all the rest there, I might be the last person even to raise that issue. But Kwame, in Chamia, may a member of parliament may file a question, urgent question. I may require a minister of state to appear before the house to answer those questions. In Chamia, a bit patient and restrained in terms of prejudging, making prejudicial statements, predetermining those things with a certain momentum outside the framework of parliament. You are gathering a momentum and creating a critical mass to the effect that case you are sure that you are right and that I indict the president already. Sometimes Obandama say parliament Obama question answers no cry. People's minds are already made up. One my parliament my minister back parliament no. I want for one jindi. At least your support base. Because I cultivate a certain sense, a certain momentum bia or today I didn't know a pill solution. I remember that to her. That's right. Expenditure no me that to her. That's right. Now I find the papa no in this case I'm talking of the president guilty. And so people saw that then why even pursuing the parliamentary landscape option?
Because you've judged him. Yes,
because you've judged it. In time in Chameye MP na nemenya brain kwame. In Metron, my minister no waba parliament. Indeed, say evidence na make it put or your conquer. In Chahokra na minister and be more embarrassed. Exactly. Because in the question of ibisa questioner or answer what will space for supplementary questions. It ought to be relevant. Question time no for debate in there. On your statement, so Parliament will want procedures, but it's been so effective, Kwame. Over the years, sometimes you take the Hansard and go through it. But when they question time now, you're very important. In fact, I am members of Parliament will complain if when their questions are not admitted, or also delay in terms of admissibility. And to be honest, say impede only your party followers. And now party fanatics. Now we appreciate the essence of issue ne raising now, Kwame. Sometimes it is how you handle that matter.
And worse of it, he launches a social media.
Okay, all
right.
Thank you. But it's important. Kwame, I think that it is inappropriate the way he's gone about it. Into me kandon jai into me wabaka says wabaka that you want to impose a culture of silence or code of silence on him, so you dare not. On no name strategy, on no name tactics. But I'm entitled to examine the quality of his strategy and possibly also make a verdict on the outcome. It's in my end. Makwame, we attach now to the urgent question a petition, online petition. online petition, so we make issues. In fact, the purpose. Yeah, the moment he petition, you be anche. You need even the purpose. Chama mo try no be misleading apa. Because in China, I'm not tax and trouble. Or you good day you be for a copy, because copy nature there. Whatever way insists the president should use the presidential jet. Of course, that will determine also on the state of the jet. Kwame, I don't think the presidential jet. Oh, how many years now? It was
2009, I think he arrived.
2009,
2010, thereabouts.
President Mills.
It's about 10, 12 years old.
Oh, okay.
Well, since we received it.
But it was brand new.
Yeah, from what we know.
Yes.
Or what we are told.
Unless there's something more serious, I don't think they should be old-fashioned or totally unusable. It cannot be.
No,
so on maintenance, yeah, but long haul. President Kufuor actually was buying two.
There were two planes, one for long haul,
one and one na chrono sukra say a maintenance. Na chrono is in use, but both they had different specifications. The President Mills administration decided to go for only one. In time they will renegotiate transaction. Now what one? They will both use the well, I won't speculate because but we'll use the Gulf Stream. Tenant Rollins in our Gulf Stream.
Yeah. And now President Kufuor Falcon.
They decided that look, instead of buying two brown new ones, for Falcon, the Gulf Stream is still Shishamuti there or any supplementary, So unless and indeed I think I must be fair to say the main year checks with the Air Force, because some of these things damn no there or there a double check name information rather than going on air to speculate like I'm doing now. What is the state of the Falcon? It's 11 years gone. I don't think 11 years is enough for it to become that weak. That's my view. Technically, look, the Fokker 28. Yes, the Fraubeyer flying coffin was about 20 or something years.
About 28 years
28
old.
or 30 years, yes. And that stage needing who then if he technically wago. This Falcon being yes, but Falcon I don't think it should be in a very seriously damaged state. I mean my view.
Okay.
But at times so I'm hearing maintenance. But you see the Ghana Air Force, they are so good at these things. I would doubt there won't be proper periodic maintenance. So there could be something. And it can happen on a flight, one journey, one travel. But too many difficulties. There's no doubt about that. But I'm not prepared to say that from that premise, not there.
But that's what Charles Niteko shared with us. What happened? Maybe you didn't notice when I was reading it.
Was a BBC or US now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a fact. I'm not denying that fact. It did happen.
Yeah.
But is that the basis to say that plane now is a complete abandonment?
No, but nobody has said that.
It's
just realms of speculation.
Yes, that's the point I made.
Yeah.
Perhaps I'm also being irresponsible sitting here and speculating without double checking with the Air Force the state of the jet. I'm prepared to admit that. But such planes, 10 years only a big deal for them to deteriorate unless they use in a year. But that is not the issue. Online petition, so say, on stop using luxurious jets in Enyama.
So then it becomes it's not about what he hires, but it's not about whether he'll hire, but what he hires.
Yes, so
it is free to hire, but what does he hire?
Say, I don't know. It's
what are his
prescriptions? What preempt the agent question in so many ways. I can imagine what will happen in Parliament that day. It will be turned into a certain partisan debate, Kwame. My answers because of course presidential travels, the expenditure now is subject to public auditing. And
yeah.
Yes. It's not above auditing. There are even many other ways of seeking answers. At the end of the day, no, the Auditor General, am I right? Obey Auditor General.
Yeah.
No, obey all those things. And it's not just one trip now what is subject to that auditing. It's a whole category. say such very otherwise serious issues, Kwame, would be raised for Parliament to deal with that. You must raise it in a way and manner nobody will get a chance to throw it out into the realm of propaganda.
Right.
The very moment you treat the issue in a manner or you're subject to unbridled, in the last man can you, am I right?
Bridled, unbridled.
Unbridled. Well, me, I can't change.
Don't worry, you are allowed. At your age, you are allowed.
It won't change. Unbridled politicization, Kwame, you won't get a solution. Into this or just political ammunition.
So actually, there's a guy online.
Kwame, and this is looking at the issue as at now, with reference to history. But Alote made some comments, and it's true, Kwame. Here, Foka 28, Achampon suffered for it. Gulfstream, Rawlings suffered for it. Falcon, Kufuor suffered for it. In the way you subject the issue. If you look back, I mean, read the BB. You feel politics in Ghana, 1972 to 1979.
Michael Quay.
Predictable, you know it. Page 127. To you.
Yeah.
In September 1978, a special jet plane allegedly ordered by General Achampon was delivered in Accra. The said plane had kente, cloth, decorations inside it, and among other trappings, had the Ghana's coat of arms embossed at the rear. There was much public outcry, in the wake of which the head of the Armed Forces Public Relations Directorate said that the plane was not Achampon's. Then, in a second statement, the day after, the same person admitted that the plane was in fact ordered by Ghana Air Force for the use of any president of Ghana. Later on, it was said that the plane was merely one of a series of planes ordered by the Air Force. But it should have been obvious that Ghana did not need such a plane at a time when there were no drugs in the hospitals.
That's the writer's opinion.
And it was regrettable that the government was not prepared to go into the full extent of the scandal and decide on how to commercialize the plane and take other measures to show a sense of responsibility. Kwamna, this matter is, as you say, the author's opinion in this book, but was a reflection of the generality of Ghanaians, the way we were thinking. And indeed, the student and youth movement made it one of the rallying points in agitation against Achampon's government. I'm being honest with you. Same way, and you see, the Rawlings and his June 4th boys, AFIC, and I include myself as an activist of that regime, all cashed in on this matter. Okay? Some of those who were shouting, let the blood flow, this was part of what had angered them. Until when Rawlings decided to buy the Gulfstream and go and look for the Hansard, about 5-6 days of parliamentary debate, the issue about his complaint about Achampon purchasing Fokker 48 came to the front line.
Fokker 28.
Yes, I will also say Ekotobi. You see, and it was still emotional and sentimental. Truly, at the end of the day, that jet he was buying was not his personal, just like it wasn't Achampon's personal. But the agitation did not look at those things, and it went on. Same with Kufuor. And when Kufuor was going for the Falcon, people referred, and also check parliamentary Hansard. That's how Hansard is a reflection, a mirror of your history, and sometimes of our own double standards, hypocrisy, and inconsistency. Dishonesty. And I have
hypocrisy and dishonesty.
And it is a fact. Go and check. Kufuor too was reminded that, hey, you you and your people, and they refer to Hansard, Ibimu Kuti. Yeah, Kuti MPP MPs from Hansard when the Gulfstream was going to be bought.
When the Falcon.
No, the Gulfstream. China, you know, if you say it's a Yento Falcon,
That's right.
no, you go cry this Yento 2.
Because it was a Falcon and an Airbus.
Yes, you are right.
Kufo did not a Falcon and an Airbus.
Sometimes you have to, say, you have to do some of this
Introspection.
You must reflect soberly on your history and how we've all played it out. And I'm telling you, foreign travels, purchase of presidential jets, number of people who accompany presidents on foreign trips have all become issues. Up to now, this matter is coming back. It's soon. How many people traveled with the president? Hotel.
Now if
I'm suffered on PDMs. What's a equal to P now because of PDM?
That's right.
And people say, look, the president, the PDM means no to coin that many times. So, yes.
Allocate Jacobs Kahun.
Allocate recollection of me conclude. Allocate recollection of history, which has inspired my recollection to know, was genuine, except that he tried to make it the propaganda not come from only one side. I can't sit here and pretend it came from only one side. Indeed, all of us.
It's always a propaganda.
But apparently, there's a gentleman on social media. I hear it's Radio Gold Online. What's on also Obon Pay there? Me kind pay if anyone then what did be send him now? Somebody has asked me to broadcast to play it for the benefit of the public, but as I told you privately, unfortunately, I will not rebroadcast anybody's nonsense. Forgive me.
And the guy spoke with passion.
Yeah, forgive me, and I'll leave it there. But if we continue like this, we have a media commission, we have a GJA, we have CSOs, and we have everybody looking on. If this is what we choose to use our airwaves for, broadcast especially, one day we shouldn't blame anybody if something goes wrong.
Infringe on the rights of journalists.
So we should be careful, all of us. But anyway, I'll leave it there. Sanya may determine how people should run the organizations. But for those of us who work in broadcast media, especially, there are rules, there are regulations, and then there's common sense. Let's think about it. Why?
There are journalists and there are presenters.
One day, the tables will turn, and let's just hope that will.
Go school that unpublish
Bernard Alote Jacobs, Kwame Duncan, Abdul Malik, Kwekubako. Anope.
Kwame, if I allocate this statement, be part Mr. Kufo.
Oh, she's
was on the Hotel Kufo.
Hotel Kufo.
Yeah, go
statement. I couldn't believe
that. Hey, Google. Also,
somebody says, Kwame, you be there. Why you talk, Pedro? Say culture of silence. Anyway.
Yeah, man.
Somebody says, sign off with that song. So I'm signing off with it again. And here we go with the same one. Bald head Jesus. Oh, so Amadou, I can't believe that you took your time, took it off, even though I told you I'll sign off with it. And then you took it out, waited for me to be ready.